Hello, everyone, and welcome to Soul Stained Ink. My name is Beth, and I am here today with a weekend reads slash reading update for the first week of May. So I have officially completed 3 books in the past week, and I've got one more that is almost finished, one I'm in the middle of, and one I'm going to be starting. So Elena and I started the Animal Rescue Agency book 2. Um, can't really see it, but there it is. This is by Elliot Schrafer, and we really enjoyed it. I gave it a 3.5 stars on Goodreads. So the Animal Rescue Agency is a fox and a chicken who live together and go out and rescue animals in need. The first book is about a polar bear. The second book is about a pangolin pop star. Um, it was very cute. Really enjoyed it. There's only 2 books out in the series so far. Um, Hoping for more to come out soon, but we found both of them on Scribd. The next book that I completed is The Ogress and the Orphans by Kelly Barnhill. You can't really see the cover of that one either. Uh, but it was very cute. I gave it a 3.5 stars, so not quite a 4 star. I did really enjoy it. It, however, was a long book. And when you get to the end, the last couple of chapters, everything just wraps up really quickly and really nicely. And there was all of this strife and buildup. And then the last couple of chapters just kind of, and there was one thing that didn't quite wrap up. Um, I did enjoy the wrap up. I did enjoy the way things were done. I just felt like if you're going to have this, 8.5 hour audiobook, because I don't have the physical, then maybe work it a little bit longer for the end. I don't know. I did very much enjoy it, and I would highly recommend it. The other book I finished this week was Rescue at Lake Wild by Terry Lynn Johnson. This one is about this little girl and her 2 best friends, and their names are Madison, and then Aaron and Jack. And there is a dog named Lid, Lid, because he kept getting stuck in the trash can lid. I thought that was a super cute thing to include. But basically, Maddie has a grandma, or had a grandma, who was a wildlife expert, and she would rescue and rehabilitate animals. And Maddie is like, Jane Goodall is her hero, and she is forbidden from bringing any more animals in to the house because they're going to go meet her hero. And if she brings more animals in, then she's out. She doesn't get to go to this big gala that they got her tickets for. The problem is that they found beavers that had been shot, and she realized that there were kits scuttering around making noises in the beaver den. And so she rescues them with the help of her 2 buddies. And then she tries to hide them and rehab them until she can find somewhere to put them. She gets discovered, of course, but there's a lot of family stuff going on. The parents are in the story, but they're very absent. And it talks about it, which I loved. Most of the time, the parents are absent and they're either dead or you just don't know, like they're at work. Oh my goodness. But parents were discussed in this book, um, which I really enjoyed. And it talks a lot about, like, if you're going to rehab the animal, this is what you need to do. And if you don't know what you're doing, you need to make sure you get them to someone responsible. Um, you know, these are the things that can happen. It goes into detail about it. And I loved that. Again, one of the things that detracted from this was the end was so fast. However, it was not in a bad way. It didn't skip over anything, and it did say once we did this, things started happening so quickly, like we didn't know what we were doing. So that was good. I really liked that. I gave it a 4 star. All right, now those are the 3 books I finished last week. Right now, I am reading Escape from Atlantis by Kate O'Hearn. She wrote the Pegasus series, which I read, but I didn't even know it existed until Fiona from Reads and Eats sent the Pegasus book, the first one, to Elena, the 10-year-old, for Christmas a couple of years ago. And then she and I read it, and I was like, this is awesome. I love this. I didn't know these existed. How did I not know these existed? Um, so now Fiona and I are reading Escape from Atlantis, and look at that gorgeous hardcover. I loved it. Now we are reading this together. The inside of the jacket shows you a picture of Atlantis. So far, I have gotten to the beginning of chapter 13, so I'm on page 110. We were supposed to start this Thursday, and I only read like the first two chapters Thursday, and then the rest of what I read yesterday. And yesterday was when Fiona got started. I think she got to about here as well. This, I have to stop looking. The shiny foil on the cover is distracting me. This book has a really quick start, but it's not devoid of details. You don't feel like you're missing out on characterization because it's so fast. Like, you're learning a lot about the people in the first couple of pages, and then bam, like a sea serpent shows up, and you're like, ah. So the main characters are Riley and Alfie right now. And Riley and her father, and then her Aunt Mary and her cousin Alfie, are on a ship. Her father is a marine biologist studying whales, and so she and her dad, and then her Aunt Mary and her cousin Alfie, are on their family boat in the Bermuda Triangle, and she's like all mad because Alfie's just angry all the time, and he's a butthead, and like he's a year younger than her, but he's bigger, and he kind of bullies her. But then things happen. So things happen, and then right now Riley and Alfie are having to kind of bond together. Um, like I said, I'm on page 110 out of 440. So I'm a quarter of the way through right now, enjoying it immensely. Looking forward to reading more. I might even finish it this weekend. I kind of doubt it, but I might. Then the book that I know I'm starting is The Jungle Book by Rudyard Kipling. This is the only copy they had at Barnes & Noble. So this is the Jungle Books. It has both of them in there. This is our children's literature, classic children's literature book club book pick for the month of May, The Jungle Book. A link to the Goodreads is going to be down below there if you want to go join that group and talk to us. Hello, Pigwidgeon. And talk to us about The Jungle Book. You want to read it with us. I would love for that to happen. This is not the copy I wanted, but it is a gorgeous, gorgeous copy. I was hoping to get one of the word cloud editions, so I may actually order one of those just so I can have it on my shelf because I collect them. But this cloth bound is gorgeous, and it's not too small of a print, so there's that. I will be reading at least the first chapter or two this weekend. And I almost forgot, there is another book that I have almost finished, and that is apparently not going to wake up and talk to me. I think it's called Closed for the Season, and it is by Mary Downing Hahn. And yep, there we go. Closed for the Season by Mary Downing Hahn. I'm just a couple of chapters from the end, and I don't want to listen to you right now. I found this one on Scribd as well. So I would have it finished already because I was going to finish listening to it last night, but Elena kind of came in on like chapter 3 and got really interested. This one follows a boy named Logan who is, he's just moved to a new town, and they move in next door to this boy named Arthur, and Arthur is weird and highly talkative, and like it never says it, but I feel like he's got some ADHD on the spectrum combination going on. He's weird. He talks a lot. He has no boundaries, no sense of manners. He just randomly wanders into their house. Like day one, Logan comes down for breakfast, and Arthur has walked into the kitchen and scoops out a handful of Raisin Bran just out of the box. Um, Logan pours his cereal, sets it down, and Arthur just scoops his little hand into the box and shoves Raisin Bran in his mouth and then does it again. But there is an old abandoned amusement park on the other side of town, and the house that they've moved into, the woman that lived there previously was murdered. And before she was murdered, she was accused of embezzling a bunch of money from the amusement park where she was the ticket taker. So the boys are like trying to solve this case. I mean, it's a Mary Downing Hahn book, so there hasn't been any like paranormal stuff happening, but she does paranormal and she does like psychological thriller type things on the middle grade level, and she's a master. We're loving it. Like I said, couple of chapters left to get to the end. Going to be finishing that this weekend as well. So I know it's the 6th. I've only finished 3 books. If I finish that one today, it'll be 4 books. I'm 2 books behind. I haven't talked to Elizabeth from Lizzie Faye Loves Books about it, but typically we try to do a book a day in May, and I haven't talked to her if we're going to do that this year, but I'm going to try anyway because I am slightly competitive. And I have a really good drive for audiobooks right now. So before school ends in 10 more days with students, 11 more days for teachers. Before school ends on the 23rd, I want to try to like pop out a bunch of middle grades on my drive. We'll see how that works. It might not, but we'll see. Anyway, that is what I read this week and what I am working on over the weekend. I'm also attempting to get about 1,000 more words written in the inklets before I turn it in to my professor. Final day to turn it in is Wednesday, but I'm hoping to just get to a really good spot this weekend, and then I have a couple other things I have to type up to go with it before I turn them in, and I want to get those done this weekend and get them turned in a few days early for her so she can have that little bit of extra time. It's not going to be a lot of extra time, but a little bit of extra time before grades are due for her to look at everything, because this is longer than a conference paper. So, we'll see. But that is what I'm doing. That is what I am reading. That is what I have read. I would love to hear from you guys. Have you read any of these? Are you going to read any of these? What are your thoughts? Are you going to join us with the Jungle Book? I would love to hear from you about that. Yeah, that's all I've got for you guys. Until I talk to you again, I hope you stay safe out there. Grab a book and enjoy yourself.